Corruption, dictation, comprehension, false education, mislead the nation, but that she come to set it, they never comprehend what the king have said. So they thought it was the fish and the bread. You never did a talk about the thousand that is dead, but the education you take in at your head. Be careful of the east of the Pharisees. Careful of the teaching of the Sadducees.
Good morning.
Be careful of the east of the Pharisees.
Very, very good morning to you. I allow this song to make the introduction of the topic that we'll be on this morning. We're taking you to a little Bible studies this morning. And I will take the music down. For you to understand. I do a lot of research. I love to search and I love to research. Search the scriptures to see if they are correct. And I often find discrepancy in some of the texts, the chapters and the verses, and try to match them. And there are quite a few of them that doesn't seems to have the balance and the match to convince me that they are correct. One thing I want to make clear here, that I believe in God Almighty, the Creator, right? But it's not that I put my trust in every word that the Bible said, because the Bible said man to man is so unjust. And I know what religion has done to us. Henceforth, I am very careful when it comes on to religion. Right? I have one story here that was told in two different ways. Let me put it that way. In the book of Chronicles and the book of Kings. And I'm trying to find out the accuracy of it. Second Chronicles 22 verse 2 and 2 Kings chapter 8 verse 6 reported a story about King Uzziah, not Isaiah, Uzziah, that was Ahab's son, right? And it had reported it in two different ways. It has been reported in Kings and Chronicles. Henceforth, I'm trying to find out which of the story is accurate. Then I checked the Apocrypha and see what is in the Apocrypha, the stone that the builders refused. And a more accurate story has been told in the Apocrypha. So I started to why the Apocrypha has been demonized in some circles. Right? And when I said, when you're reading the Bible, read it with an open mind. A lot of people may not understand. But let's get straight into the story. We will listen to the Apocrypha's report first. So at 2 Kings chapter 8 verse 26 reads like this. Study with me this morning. In the 20th year of the reign of Joram, son of Ahab, as king of Israel, Uzziah, Ahaziah, son of Jehoram, became king of Judea. That is the 25th verse. And the 26th verse go like this now. At the age of 22, and he ruled in Jerusalem for 1 year. I read it again. Isaiah, son of Jehoram, became king of Judah at the age of 22, and he ruled in Jerusalem for 1 year. That's the story from 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 25 and 26. Now the same story has been told in 2 Chronicles chapter 22, verse 2 and 3. Here we go. Isaiah became king at the age of 22, and he ruled in Jerusalem for 1 year. Isaiah also followed the example of King Ahab's family, since his mother Athaliah, the daughter of King Ahab and the granddaughter of King Omri of Israel. Now, both give the same identity to the same individual. Yes? Both give the same mother relationship, to the same individual. So what we cannot understand now, it is the same king, but different story has been told about them, not in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha seems that they have the ages right. But when I turn to the most trusted book that people uses, the King James Version, I realize that something has different there in the same story. So let's see what is different there. The King James Version, 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 26. 22 years was Isaiah the same king when he started to reign. This is the same king. This is in 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 26. And when I turn over to 2 Chronicles, that reporting the same story, it reads like this. 42 years old was the same King Isaiah when he began rule. I script that, but let me read it from the King James Version. The King James Version has 2 Kings chapter 26 about the same king. 22 years old was Isaiah when he began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem, as his mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri, king of Israel. Is the same identity. Now, we turn over now into 2 Chronicles 22 and verse 2. Reads like this. All right. Let us get a little further. Start from the top. Verse 22, verse 1. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Isaiah, his youngest son, king in his stead. For the band of men that came with the Arabians to the camp had slain all the eldest. So Isaiah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, reigns. 42 years old was Asa when he began to reign, and he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. Same identity now. His mother's name was also Althea, and daughter of Omari. Both given the same identity of that same person, Isaiah the king. But what makes the difference is 2 different ages, or in the King James Version, one at 42 and one at 22. While in the Apocryphas, both Kings and Chronicles has 22. So Isaiah can only be one age. If he is 22, then he's 22. Or if he's 41 or 42, then he is just that. He cannot be 2 ages. Think of yours. Write a story about yourself. Fill in your Google account, and when they ask you for your date of birth, put 2 different birth of date on it and see if everything no go wrong. So what has gone wrong, right? In the King James Version, why it has 2 different ages of Isaiah reigning as king in Judea. Why 2 different? Right? Not saying that God is a liar, but it only brings out the point when I said read the Bible with an open mind, because inaccuracy are there. But you have people in certain quarters who tear my neck off and said the Bible cannot wrong. Let me just tell you this morning, the Bible was translated by men, and it's subjected to errors. I am Tychicus, your revelator. You can demonize me if you want, as you always do when I speak the truth.